This is Lansdowne ROAR, the voice of the fans, and this is the window preview. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Ireland squad, the latest news on the Ireland squad. Of course, the Boys in Green face Bulgaria in Plovdiv on the 20th of March, and then, of course, 3 days later in Dublin. We've heard the two lads, their reaction to the squad, but tonight you're going to get mine. But most importantly, we're going to get yours. So, as always, guys, our ROAR faithful out there, tell us what you think of the squad. We're going to be talking all about that. I want your opinion, because that's what really matters. And I suppose your opinion matters too. Conor, how are you doing on this wonderful Sunday? On a slightly later program here that we're doing.
Yeah, I'm all right. I was happy enough watching the Carabao Cup final earlier. Not much really gets me invested in English football anymore, other than really Irish lads, how they're doing, and seeing the demise of Liverpool is always quite good for us. So I'm all good. I'm flying. I'm happy out. Looking forward to a huge week of international football, which I think we can both agree we're excited on. But how are you doing?
I'm very well. Demise of Liverpool. They lost the final, right?
So what happened to them midweek?
They
2 games lost in 1 week.
Yeah, that's a blip for Liverpool. That's a blip for United. That's just Tuesday. No, look, I mean, it hasn't been a good week for Liverpool. They went out to an excellent PSG team. Probably are going to win the Champions League this year, actually. To be fair to them. No shame in that. They were the better team, and they were terrible against Newcastle tonight. Terrible, today anyway. But you win some, you lose some. But anyway, still the Premier League, isn't it? And you won tonight, I suppose, 3-0. Well done. Brilliant stuff there.
All that matters is Prendy's not on. We miss Prendy. We miss Prendy. R.I.P. Prendy. Gone, but not forgotten.
Well, we don't know where he is actually at the moment. Let me just take my little bottle of water down. He's probably in the ditch somewhere. Paddy's night. It's tomorrow, isn't it? So, but we are here tonight. Of course, this is the window preview, and this is the start. Well, I mean, the start was really on Thursday because Heimer Hallgrimsson announced his Ireland squad on Thursday. Conor was down there, and he was chatting to them. If you want to see that press conference, by the way, in full, but I dare say better audio than the FAI. That's going to get us cool. Wow, it's. I'm just repeating what you were telling me off air, Conor.
Me, you're the one who watched it all back. I haven't watched it back once, so
I did. Yes.
Jog on.
You're terrified to say anything about the FBI now, aren't you? You're absolutely terrified.
No, but I just don't like people accusing me of stuff that you've done. So it's just it's rude.
Wow. Well, you're the one who recorded it anyway. But yes, that is on our YouTube channel, so do check that out. And of course, the Under-21s where Conor, it's basically the Conor McAvoy show, really, wasn't it, Conor? You and your old pal Jim. It was quite nice, wasn't it?
It was. It was good. It was enjoyable. Jim's very enjoyable to speak to. In fairness, he gives very good answers all the questions, and he's a gent as well. So it's he's a good person to have in a presser, which we struggle sometimes to have in Irish football. Sometimes you get very poor answers from people involved with Irish football. So no, he's very good now. In fairness.
No, it was very good. Of course, that is on the YouTube channel there as well. And of course, the big topic of that Under-21s was the issue over Kevin Zefi. Can he or can he not play for Albania? Of course, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the podcast. We're going to talk about the squad. We're going to go through IBIG, squad only IBIG. We're only going to concentrate on the players that are in that 23-man squad. If I haven't forgotten to take some players out of it, you know what I'm like. And then, of course, we'll be talking about Zefi, and we'll be getting to your comments. So, guys, keep them coming in. We've seen them coming there. Have your say. Leave a comment. Get involved. This is the voice of the fans. This is your podcast as well. Just at the top of the, just want a little bit of a disclaimer. We're having issues with the ROAR Twitter account. So you're probably not getting this on ROAR Twitter. But we are available on Facebook, YouTube, the Lansdowne ROAR Twitter account, and of course Rep Tracker. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to all of those, especially the YouTube channel, lads. We're trying to grow those. And of course, Conor, you pointed out a very interesting statistic to me the other night, didn't you?
Did
about
I?
our YouTube channel. Yes, you did. I'm trying to give
Oh,
you
I
credit.
did. Oh, I did. Sorry.
Jesus.
Yes, I did.
Don't worry, it's not going to get you in trouble with the FBI. Relax. It's
No,
fine.
no, no. I was confused, sir.
Yeah, well, you're always confused. But here we go. Here is that wonderful stat that Connor broke to me basically the other night. That apparently, those of you who watch us on YouTube, only 59% of you are subscribed. There's 41% of you out there watching us illegally in YouTube land because you don't subscribe. It's illegal, right? So don't be watching us illegal. Don't be watching us on your Fire Stick. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button there below. It even says it in orange. Subscribe at Lansdowne Road YouTube channel just to make Connor feel a bit more welcome and at home. We're very here.
Just because you live in England.
Well, you live in the UK, mate. Whatever.
I live in the UK, do I?
As well. But anyway,
do you have a bank holiday in your country tomorrow?
We're all Irish tomorrow. Of course, Paddy's Day tomorrow in London. Well, that's where Martin was today. I actually didn't put the photograph up there. Probably should have as well. Anyway, so yeah, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'm going to hurt Connor when he arrives. Are you showing up at mine tomorrow, or what are you doing? Have you booked your flight yet? For fuck's sakes!
No.
You still haven't booked. You
I still
haven't booked
haven't
your
booked a flight.
flight.
They haven't changed prices. They're still the same. So I just don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Man, you're stressing me out. You're stressing me out. So you're just going to rock up my work tomorrow night, and then I'm going to have to bring you home.
No. As soon as the stream's finished, I will have to before I go to sleep tonight. I will make my mind up with something.
You promised that last night. I mean, children today, incredible.
It's just
stuff.
I don't get stressed out like you because you're a fraud.
How am I a fraud?
Just a fraud. Like, wait till everyone hears your squad. Your squad that you thought should have been picked, and then.
No, that I would have liked to have seen, but I knew it wasn't going to get picked. I knew Kirkin wasn't going to get picked anyway. But let's get back to the squad, folks. And I want to hear what you think of the squad out there. Are your comments coming in? I want to hear, are you happy with the squad? Who do you want in? Who do you want out? I want to hear from you guys out there. So here we are. Here is the squad. And you're going to get my take on it here. So the goalkeeper, of course, Caoimhín Gallagher. Commiserations today, Mark Travers and Gavin Bazunu, who apparently was fourth choice goalkeeper. I want to get Connor's thoughts on that. In defence, Matt Doherty, Jacob Bryan, Nathan Collins, Dara O'Shea, James Abankwah, Jimmy Dunn, Robbie Brady, Callum Odetta. Of course, this is Abankwah's first senior squad. Midfielders, Josh Cullen, Jason Knight, Will Smallbaum. Doubts over him, Jack Taylor, Finn Azaz, and of course, Mark Sykes, who did actually score over the weekend. Sorry for reading that. Yeah. Forwards, of course, Troy Parrott, Evan Ferguson, Adam Ida, Sinclair Armstrong, he was back in the squad. Mikey Johnson and Rocco Vata makes his debut in the senior squad. I have to say, I don't see any problems with the squad. I think it's pretty much what I thought it would be. I think some of the wishful nonsense that people like yourself, Connor, were coming out with, saying that you wanted John Joe, Patrick Finn, and Andy Moran in it, and all this.
What bollocks are you talking? I was the one who said put Sinclair Armstrong in it.
Well, yeah, okay, you're right about that. Yeah, but you know this.
What I was saying that the last 2 months, you said put Dennis Circunet, who doesn't even have an Irish passport.
No. I said if he's picked, because we don't have a proper left back, we do. We have Ryan Manning, but I don't know what he's done to every football manager because although he did play 90 minutes over the weekend. Sorry, I am spoiling Oibig for you, but yeah, we need quality.
You didn't pick any. What was the comment? What was the comment that the Prendy read out? The boy said about my knowledge compared to yours.
Fuck off! That was a burner account, and you know it.
No,
that was an East Coaster, was it?
Yeah, it was East Coaster. Yeah. I will find that comment for you right now. You can rant away there, and I will find this comment.
You will. I'm not ranting.
Prendy seems to agree with it. Prendy agreed with it.
Well, Prendy's not here, so don't have to talk about him.
Connor's. I was read out to you. Connor's squad is based on deep knowledge, tactical awareness, and supreme intelligence. The other two squads, which means you clown, look like they've been put out together by football-hating grannies who've never attended or watched a game. The absence of Andrew Moran is a case in point. Thank you very much, East Coaster 636, and I'm going to follow him back on Rep Tracker.
You weren't even following him, were you?
I haven't followed him. No, following him back and being a legend.
You're a fraud. hold on. I'm gonna put your squad up here. I have the graphics here. Your shite graphics. That doesn't even have the outer thing on it, right? Because it was desperation, the one I wasn't on. But we're gonna put it on here. So sorry for we're gonna put it across the screen, but unfortunately, you're gonna see it's not gonna cover the screen. Like there we go. So this is what you wanted, right? Okay, goalkeeper spot on. Ryan Manning, no sign of him. Midfielders, John Patrick. You wanted John Patrick and Andy Moore in there.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking cuckoo land there. Andy Moore was never going to get in. And I mean, you were going on about how great, no, nothing against anymore and how brilliant he was. He came on when we were 5-0. He came on when we were 5-0 down in Wembley, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. When there was nothing to play for. Game was over. Spreading around like butter. Brilliant. Fantastic. Can barely get a game for Stoke at the moment. You wanted him in. John Patrick Finn, nothing against the lad, and I do see some potential there. He plays for a shit team in a shit league, let's be honest about it, League On. And yeah, he's never going to get in either. I think Heimer, and tell us what you think out there, guys. By the way, I see the comments coming. I'm actually afraid to look at those comments. Yeah, tell us what you think. And I think Heimer's gone for a decent squad. Listen, it was always going to be a bread and butter squad. It was always going to be, obviously with injuries coming into play, he was always going to go for something that gets the win. He wants to win here. He's not going to start experimenting with players like John Patrick Finn.
Why not?
Well, what's he going to do?
He said the main thing. He was asked the other day at the press conference, was it more of an objective to win the match or to beat Bulgaria or prepare for the World Cup qualifiers? And he said World Cup qualifiers.
Is that what he said? Yeah. Well, with all due respect to him, he says a lot of things. Then he has to backtrack on a lot of things, doesn't he? Such as the whole argument with Stephen Bradley, and a couple of other things he said in previous ones. Not taken away from his integrity. I'm just pointing out the facts there. But also, I think that's if we lose to Bulgaria, there will be uproar. No pun intended. If we go out to this Bulgaria side and end up in League C, there will be absolute uproar. He has to get through this window, get the job done, hopefully win, no problem. Get to June when it's going to be a camp and 2 friendlies, one at home, one away, which we've no update on, by the way, do we?
Nope.
No. Where's Prendy? And basically,
we've got the opponents. We just haven't announced it, and he said he didn't want to get in trouble by announcing it.
Okay, fair enough. We haven't heard a thing either. We probably, if we were told, we wouldn't announce it anyway because we're good. We're good lads. But anyway, yeah, and he's got a camp, 1 home, 1 away. I believe that is what they're doing. So that's when you bring in John Patrick Finn. That's when you bring in your Andy Moore and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you had Fess in your team and he's injured.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was injured when I made that. But we didn't know. We didn't know.
He's been injured for 6 weeks. I think you knew he's injured. See him with Adam or not Adam.
So what? He's injured for 6 weeks.
Tom Cannon doesn't
play. Can he not recover? I didn't know. And I said the whole Sarka thing.
And Mohammed injured as well, and you picked him. So this is not going well for you here, mate.
No, and you know exactly that in the WhatsApp group that I said, because I said I'm not sure if he's injured or not, but if he's not injured, I'd like to see Bamidele in the squad because I think he's a fabulous player, but he's always injured. I also said I'd like Serkin in the squad if he's eligible. He was obviously looking at it, but he's obviously gone to the England under 21s. And I said about Festi, if he's injured, that's who I'd like to see. If he's not injured, but of course they are injured. And then I said to you about Bamidele that if he's injured, then Jimmy Dunn. And who got picked in the squad? Sorry, let's get that fucking down. Sorry, what? Who got? Yeah, Jimmy Dunn. Exactly, my namesake. So don't you fucking come in. See what I'm up against. Martin, come back. Goals forgiven. Why is that guy Kevin? Oh, just looking at some of the comments there. But anyway, I think it's a good squad. I think it should hopefully get the job done. Look, it's where we're at the moment. Just looking there. Obviously, Will Smallbone is a doubt. Connor, he didn't play. I wasn't sure. I put on the OBIG list that he wasn't in the squad, so I'm not sure because you don't really know some of our lads at the moment. Any update on him at all? Was there?
No, he's a groin injury, there's no one seems to know. I was looking at the squad arrivals, and he wasn't in the squad arrival videos. But I was trying to think, is there anyone else from Southampton that would have been traveling with them? But Manning wasn't picked, so maybe it was just that he wasn't in. Because I seen a thing of Mark Sykes in the background, and I didn't put any of him or the Bristol City lads up on the video. So I don't know what the story is with Smallbone. I'd imagine he's probably going to be injured, to be honest, because if he got injured last week in training and I had a groin injury that ruled him out at the weekend, is probably an excuse for Southampton not to let him go for this week.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe your mate John Patrick Finn might get picked to replace him.
But if he does, fair play to him. He just wouldn't be my first choice.
Who was your first choice?
Well, I said Malumbi, but he, considering the injuries, but you were saying that he can't play because he's suspended for one of the games. He can't come in. I didn't know that was a thing. I did try to find some rules on that online.
Well, it is. Do you know what it is? I thought there was. If you Google online how many yellow cards in Nations League this gets suspended, it says 3, and he's on 2. So I don't know how he's suspended. I don't know what, unless they change it for this campaign. But maybe I was reading the old Nation League's rule. But do you think it just would have came up the new ones or this campaign's one?
Well, he played 90 minutes. So look, I'd bring Malumbi in if you're not going to. I think this Bulgarian team are quite a big team. They're quite an aggressive team. So you're going to have to match them.
I don't get you, Dave. Why not call John Patrick up and just have him in the squad? Would you rather him or Alan Brown?
Well, I mean, Alan Brown, I don't think he's not gonna. He will not make 2 games because he only played about 12 minutes, I think, something like that for Sunderland. As I glanced through, because he wasn't included in the IBIG, so he's not fully fit. Alan Brown, look, I know he's not the most gifted player, but he is the player for Ireland that does pop up against the important goals, whether you like him or not. I have nothing against Alan Brown at all. He's sort of like a modern day Ray Houghton. I'm not comparing him to Ray Houghton, but in terms of he always got the important goals. Well, I'm just saying.
Oh, you like it. You don't like Alan Brown. I don't know why you're talking about him.
No, I have nothing against Alan Brown.
You don't want to be in the squad. Like, just play the young lads. I think just play young lads that get ready for the qualifiers.
I don't think he's going to
in the squad.
I don't think he's going to do that. I think I don't think he's going to. He's not going to take a risk. He wants to he just wants to get through these 2 games, and I agree with him. Just get through these 2 games, and look, if Malumbi's out, all right, get John Patrick and see what happens. But he won't play.
Would you rather bring Andy Morgan or Alan Brown?
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now? Alan Brown. Right now. If I was a manager, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. That's because he's injured. But I haven't seen it. Like, I'm not saying that in a couple of years' time, Andy Moran has all the ingredients to be a top player. But right now, from what I've seen of Andy Moran, yeah, he's good on the ball, but he hasn't really done it in a senior short, has he? You were going on about how well he played against England, but the game is over. You have to put that into context. The game was over. Alan Brown, right now, although he hasn't played for Ireland for a while because he has been injured for a fair bit for Sunderland.
And he was dreadful the last time he played.
I'll bow to your experience on that. But when it comes to Ireland, he will pop up and he seems to get the important goals. So if I was Heimer in a must-win game, and it is a must-win game, I think, because I think if we go out to Bulgaria, there'd be absolute uproar in the press. Then yeah, I'd probably, if I was him, I wouldn't be taking any risk with young players. Although it is an interesting one because the last game we played, we were smashed 5-0 with an asterisk.
Alan Brown played that game against Greece. You remember how crap he was at the, like, I don't mind you saying he could be in the squad, but if you think he should be in the squad over Andy Moran, it's a disgrace, Dave, because Andy Moran is 10 times the player that Alan Brown is. Alan Brown is decent. He runs around a bit. And, like,
I've no doubt about that.
He's suited more to the championship than Andy Moran is. But
I've no doubt about
football ability.
I'm looking at it from a manager's point of view with 2 games that are 2 must-win matches. I've no doubt Andy Moran's a better player than Alan Brown. Not doubting that at all. But this is not a game to experiment in.
It's not an experiment. He's been in the squad and he's played for Ireland. Like, it's not like you're bringing in a lad that they haven't seen around the camp and they brought in.
He hasn't done it for Ireland though, has he? Where Alan Brown has had some awful games.
Yeah, but Alan Brown's the best games I remember Alan Brown playing was he played right wing back. Was his best games he played for Ireland, because he's a good athlete. He's good at running out about the place and getting stuck in. But that's it. Well, he was already against Scotland that day that Obafemi scored that worldie, but that's what it.
Who is this Kevin Zefi fella on Twitter? Is
That
that you? Is it
must be a burner kind of someone. Or a
Bunner
fake account.
account? Yeah. It's either you or Bill.
No, it's not Bill. Bill would just do it off his own account.
Now, I've no doubt, as I said, Andy Moran's a far better player, but I think this is a game where he's going to go for experience, and that sort of showed. He's brought in Rakavata. He said it himself in the press conference, didn't he? That he's had a ton of injuries. We've loads of wingers injured. Rakavata, get him in. Obviously Scottish born. People were worried that he wasn't going to play for Ireland. Of course, we knew. You brought it to my attention that he was definitely going to be playing for Ireland when people were panicking about it. But I just think it's a no.
Yeah, but sure, Rocco's barely played over the last couple of weeks because Cleverly's a bit of a fraud. But Rocco's barely played over the last couple of weeks, and you could just say bring in an experienced fella and play in the wing. Bring in CJ Hamilton because he has international experience. Bring him back into the fold.
What are you smiling about?
That's just a fact. It's your logic of why Andy Moran should be in the squad.
I just don't think he's ready.
Sometimes you have to take a risk. No one thought Albania was ready when he first came into the Ireland squad.
True.
No one thought he should have been in the Ireland squad.
True.
Stephen Kenny took a risk.
As I said, I'm just putting if I was the manager and I've got 2 must-win games, they aren't going to be pretty. Just get it done, get the result, secure your place in League B, then get to the summertime. Then you bring in your Andy Morans, then you bring in your John Patricks, then you bring those lads in, you have a good look at them, see what they're about. And then, you probably then start phasing out your players like your Alan Browns and all that, just eventually throughout the next campaign. I just don't think some of these lads are ready. That's all. What's so interesting on your phone there?
You keep that negative attitude now, sharing the video around on Twitter to share our video, to get out to our fans.
What? Oh, okay. Good man.
The video we're currently doing.
It's not negative. I'm just being pragmatic. I mean, this... the way you're talking about it is just why we were Brazil or something from 1998. But anyway, you weren't even born, mate.
The thing is, Bulgaria are going to sit back against us and try and be physical and try and low block, try and think. That's why we need creative players that can make things happen.
If you were to play any more against these guys, they'd probably kick them 6 feet up in the air.
But not modern football. You can't really maybe the way but not at home in a bigger pitch.
Well, I'm talking about. Well,
we need players to unlock things.
I don't know. I think it'd be too much from Bulgaria. Some of the stuff we're hearing, it's going to be a bit of a tasty atmosphere over there in Plovdiv. Protect me, Connor. Right. So, what do you think anyway? The squad? Are you happy with it? Looking there, some of you aren't happy with me.
Some people aren't Alan Brown fans. Funny enough, it's a shock, isn't it?
No, I know, I get it. But you asked me a hypothetical question, so I could easily just turn around and say I don't do hypotheticals. So, but no, I'll do it. Right, so that is the squad. So you happy with the squad, Connor? You think it's a good squad?
The things I would have done maybe differently would be I would have probably brought in another midfielder, Andy Moore or John Patrick, just to have them in. I thought Jack Taylor making the squad, even though he done well the last time he played for Ireland, is a bit odd because he barely plays for Ipswich. And that's really it. I think Mark Sykes is the shock one for everyone, but the thing is he's actually playing well for Bristol City, and the way we play is like a 4-4-2, and in terms of people that can play right midfield in that sort of system, it probably will fit him. It probably suits him playing on that role for us because he's our only really right midfielder. We play Rocco Vata there, but it's probably a big thing to bring a lad in on international debut and play him right wing. You can't play Mikey Johnson on the right.
No, I mean Rocco Vata's down as a forward, but he's a winger though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a winger, yeah. But in modern football, you usually count wingers as forwards sometimes if you play a 4-3-3. But I think it's just a graphic to just throw players and wherever it feels like, just to make it an even spread as such.
So if you're looking at that there, right? What's your starting lineup? Who are you going with that team available right now?
Kelleher.
Mm-hmm.
O'Brien, because I wouldn't have said O'Brien, but I think the goal the other day just puts him to start. I thought Doherty would have started, but I think O'Brien will start.
O'Brien
And then
hasn't put a foot wrong for everything at all.
yeah, so I think he has to start. I didn't think he was going to start, but then the goal the other day, I think is seedless for him. And then Collins, O'Shea, Brady, Cullen, Knight, Azaz, no, Cullen, Knight, and then I would go Sykes on the right, Johnson on the left, and then try Powered up front with Azaz in behind, because I think we'll go. I'm just going off a shape that I think we'll play. I'd rather play a 4-3-3, but I think he's going to go 4-4-2. So, I think that's what he'll do.
I'd go with that. What you've gone with there, but I'd probably go with not with Azaz, but I'd probably actually give Troy Parrott another go with.
I said Troy Parrott.
No, with Ferguson. Troy Parrott behind Ferguson. I think. I think just keep it simple against Bulgarians. You have to remember with this, with the time he's had with the players. I know he's had 3 windows with the players, and obviously this will be his 4th. You don't get a lot of time with players with windows. You need camps, and I think with this Irish team, just keep it simple, simplicity, nice and simple. Play with the wingers. You've also maybe, I don't know, maybe you'd like to see, like, Knight obviously is more about energy, isn't he? What do you reckon him maybe on the right? Knight on the right.
He could play, but I think down the middle he'd.
Actually,
I think he'd do well in the middle.
I think for me, I'd probably go Knight on the right, Azaz in the middle with Cullen, and then I'd go with Ferguson with Parrott in behind, because I think that way you've got the wingers, you got the big man up front, you got Parrott, who's a lovely footballer. Now we'll see how he gets on against Bulgaria, because obviously they're a big physical team, and you know me, I don't think he's as physical as he should be, but you got to give him a chance. He's doing the business in the Eredivisie. And then you got Azaz that can play through the centre as well. So I think you have options. And then if that's not working and we're getting, overloaded midfield or the too physical, then you bring on like a Jason Knight. And that's where a Malumbi would come in handy.
Yeah, but
because you got options.
Yeah, the second leg, I think their physicality won't beat play as much of a thing. I think it'll just be us as the better team, and just footballers will take over. But I think it's the first leg he'll go a bit more pragmatic with the 4-4-2, and I think the back was the back, because they'll be big, and I think their way of trying to break us down will be set pieces or long ball in behind. But because we'll have so much size in the back line, which helps with Jake O'Brien being a 6'6" right back, I don't think he'll play Azaz in the midfield too. To be honest, Dave, I don't think that's an option. I don't think he'll play Azaz in the midfield too. But that's it.
Sorry. Making all sorts of enemies on this podcast. Okay, sorry, just some breaking news. No, yeah, and I do agree with you. More pragmatic, and that's right. More pragmatic in Bulgaria, and then do the business against them. Like you take a draw in Bulgaria, just be pragmatic. Take a draw in Bulgaria, do the job at home. Anyway, right. So, are you ready for a bit of IBIG?
Yeah, work away.
All right. Just before we go into IBIG, just remember on Tuesday we are going to have the preview. We're going to have a Bulgaria preview actually for the first leg, and of course we will be live from the ground. We hope in Plovdiv about an hour before kickoff, and of course about 10 or so minutes after the final whistle. And
I wouldn't trust this place though.
No, and a little asterisk as well, just a preface. We don't know. It's all depending on Wi-Fi. It's all depending. Remember, we didn't even have any electricity in Finland.
Yeah.
And
you have to go get your boy. But no, but there. Even if we don't go live anyway, we'll have a review on the channel after. Just won't be it'll be without the comments of people abusing people.
Yeah, and of course, then we have we're going to play a message from the SLO officer, Gary Spain, for some advice on fans, which is very important you listen to, by the way. Yeah, it's about 2.5 minutes. We'll do that before we get to the comments. But yeah, this is your place for the window. Lansdowne ROAR, of course, over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, lansdowneroar.ie, lansdowneroar.ie. And also, it's probably time to tell them, Connor, that you're smiling a little face there, texting your buddy. Yeah.
Oh. What are you on about? Tell them about what's going on here.
No, just of course we have a fanzine which is going to be released tomorrow. We have a little fanzine.
I put so much work into that.
You fucking no. Our good friend James Agnew, a writer over at Lansdowne ROAR, is the chief editor. Well, he's the chief writer. I'm editing the whole thing, but it's going to be this online, done in the style of the old 1980s program. Really excited about this. It's almost complete, actually. When I'm done here, I'm going to finish it off, and then we're going to have it ready on the website. Yeah, tomorrow. So anyway, that's that. Right, Connor, you ready for a bit of big? You with me now? You paying attention?
Yeah, I'm getting stuck in.
Yeah.
The SLO video looks like a hostage video.
What?
The most recent comment.
Just looking there. Right, okay, it's already a weird episode. This we're only fucking
It's funny.
30 minutes.
Everyone's out celebrating for Paddy's Day when we're stuck at home.
They are. It's a bit of a quiet night tonight, so which is fine. It's Paddy's Day, isn't it? So it's cool. Right, let's have a look at the goalkeepers. Now, as always, if I've got it wrong, Connor is the adjudicator. So, I am human. I'm very human, and he will correct me on it. So here we go. It's the goalkeepers. Queefing Callagher, 90 minutes in a 2 against Newcastle. For Liverpool, Mark Travers, 90 minutes in a... I thought I changed that. Cam Masoon, 90 minutes in a 0-0 draw with Royal Antwerp. Sorry, that was actually a 0-0 draw with Luton Town with Mark Travers. I thought I changed it, but I didn't. So there you go. First fuck up of the day.
Yeah. The goalkeepers, it was good to see Callagher lose, even though he's world class. It's good to see him lose. Also,
just on today.
Oh, you pretend you should have saved that, you clown. No chance saving that. But anyway,
what about the one that was disallowed?
Disallowed, didn't count. Yeah, but anyway, Josh Keeley on Saturday commented from a Blackpool fan, one of the best performances I've ever seen by a goalkeeper at Bloomfield Road. He was supposedly out of this world, but I seen the highlights after he made some ridiculous saves. I believe that more and more interest is coming into him now, and he had his best performance yet for Blackpool for Leyton Orient at the weekend. So I would get him in the Ireland squad in June, to have him in as our third choice in June, to get him in.
100%. What do you make of the manager's comment saying that Bazunu was fourth choice and that Max O'Leary actually left because of family reasons, I think?
Yeah, he said his wife's having a baby. I don't know. Did he say it was fourth choice? I picked it up more that he just said Max O'Leary they would agreed not to come because of his wife having a baby. But I presume that as I'm going to pick Bazunu, but since he has that situation going on, it's an excuse to say, I'm leaving you out for this reason. But imagine when you're third choice keeper and your wife's about to have a baby, you might want to think, I might sit this one out because I'm not going to play like.
Roy Keane wouldn't like it. Roy Keane wouldn't like that. Right, let's move on to the defenders. Yet again, Connor, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll correct myself. Matt Doherty, 90 minutes in a 2-1 win over Southampton for Wolves. Jake O'Brien, 90 minutes and a goal in a 1-1 draw at West Ham. Good boy, Jake. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes and a 2-1 win over Bournemouth for Brentford. Darrell Shea, 90 minutes as right back in a 4-2 loss against Nottingham Forest. James Abankwah, 79 minutes and sent off in a 1-0 loss to Oxford. A bit of a nil-terrible game. Jimmy Dunn, 90 minutes as a right back in a 2-2 draw with Leeds. He's in the squad, obviously. Robbie Brady, 45 minutes and an assist in a 2-1 win over Portsmouth for Preston. And Colin O'Dowda, 90 minutes and a 2-1 win over Blackburn for Cardiff City. Abankwah, your boy, sent off. What happened there?
Don't know. I seen someone say he shouldn't have been sent off. They were very harsh, two yellows, but he probably shouldn't. I suppose it's one of the ones you say you shouldn't have made that tackle. You're putting yourself at risk, but it wasn't a sending off. But anyway, he'll miss one game. He's still been unbelievable for the club since joining. So I don't think it'll affect him too much. I think Watford fans are happy enough with him. I think he's the type of fella that they'll say, he'll learn from it and move on. He's still very young. He's deserved this Ireland call up. I think we've been saying for a number of weeks now that his form at Watford had to be rewarded with a call up, and you won't look at this one as a risk bringing him in because of how well he's playing, I don't think.
No, I don't. And he's shown from day one, literally his first game for Watford, this boy's up for it. He doesn't shirk a challenge at all. Hopefully he doesn't become a liability, because you can go too far the other way. But no, he looks the business, James Abankwah. And that's not a risk at all. Right, let's move on to the midfielders. Josh Cullen, 90 minutes and 2-0 win over Swansea for Burnley. Jason Knight, 90 minutes and 2-1 win over Norwich. That was a Friday night game for Bristol City. Will Smallbone not in the squad. We believe he's injured with his groin, so he could be a doubt. Jack Taylor, 4 minutes in a 4-2 loss against Nottingham Forest Ipswich. Finn Azaz, 90 minutes in a 0-0 draw with Luton for Middlesbrough. Mark Sykes, 90 minutes and a goal for Bristol City in that 2-1 win over Norwich. Just seeing, I actually took some notes. I'll take this shit very seriously, actually.
On the players or on your squad?
No, the players. I don't need notes, baby. It's all up here for that. Midfield, of course, Jason Lumpy played 90 minutes. And of course, your other boy, Boston Lawal, still. You got pretty petty on Ref Track, didn't you? You went, that's what you get for not playing Boston Lawal.
No, that was on my personal account. I wouldn't put that on my Ref Tracker because people started abusing me on that. I just put my personal account. But was I wrong?
I don't know. I didn't see the performance.
Stoke are dog shit. They are the worst team to watch in the world. Oh my God, they're painful to watch. They just hoof the ball up, and no wonder Andy Moore stopped playing for them at the moment, because if you play as a number 10 or even anywhere in midfield for them, you're not going to get the ball because it's hoof ball. They're crap. Also, somebody who didn't make the squad was in that game. Idemo Maku. He was unbelievable. He was very, very good. First half, he was excellent, and then he kind of tired out because he's only just back from injury. And he was a menace the whole time he was on the left wing, up and down, taking men on. He nearly got an unbelievable assist. And I think if he would have came back from injury maybe 2-3 weeks earlier, it would have put him into with a shout of making this Ireland squad, which because of the lack of wingers and the fact he's playing well. But unfortunately, probably came a week or two too late to put him in the Ireland picture just yet. But maybe in June if he keeps up this form, because he was excellent for Millwall at the weekend. And he started over Connolly because Connolly's more of a left wing option, and he's starting over Connolly now, which is a good sign for him, bad sign for Connolly. But yeah.
Yeah, whatever happens in Plovdiv and in this window, I think June is going to be really exciting. I think it's going to be very exciting. Keep in mind, this manager, as I said, has had him for 4 windows. He hasn't had him for, well, this will be his 4th. He hasn't really had much time to work with them, and I think June is going to be brilliant. I really am looking forward to that with some of the players on the fringe coming in and having a proper look at them. Anyway, let's move on to the attackers. By the way, who would you bring in if Will Smallbone is ruled out, which is probably looking likely?
Me? Oh, I thought you were asking the comments because you've already.
Well, actually, I'll ask.
You've already asked me.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I said John Patrick or Andy Moore. I don't think it was John Patrick or Andy Moore. It would be Andy Moore probably, but I want to see John Patrick just come into the squad to see what he can offer. Because I know what Andy Moore can offer. I just want to see what John Patrick could offer in this environment.
And just for the record, if either one of those came in, despite what I said, and smashed it in the 2 games or one of the 2 games, I'd hopefully put my hands up, or I'd happily put my hands up and go, I was wrong. Just never am. Right, attackers.
Who do you think you are?
Troy Parrish, 68 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Ajax for AZ Alkmaar. Evan Ferguson, 3 minutes. 1-1 draw with Everton. Adam Ida, 45 minutes and a shock 3-2 loss at home to Rangers. Sinclair Armstrong, your other boy, 32 minutes and a 2-1 win against Norwich City. That was on Friday. And Mikey Johnson, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Hull City for West Brom. And Rocco Vata, welcome to the squad, 6 minutes and a 1-0 loss. An ill-tempered game against Oxford. Evan Ferguson, actually, yeah, I've just reminded the other point I wanted to make. Evan Ferguson to West Ham. It's been a pile of shite.
Yeah. Imagine going to a team as a striker that don't even play a striker.
Yeah.
They play a front 2 with 2 inverted wingers as their front 2, which is a balls and it's a joke.
They're not even going to get relegated.
Yeah, no, they're not. I don't get it. Even Kudus is playing terribly for them at the moment. I see all their fans usually a couple of weeks ago it was why have we even made this loan if we're not going to start him? And then now it's all the comments are when he comes on. Oh, that's what I say was it 90th minute he came on? Well, that's 90 minutes too late. What's the point of this? Kudus has been terrible. He should have been off at half time. But I guess when Kudus and Bowen and Opaqueta is in that bracket of being looked at as their best players, and this thing of them type of player on your team that you never take them off. You can never take them off unless they're injured. because they loved him
Yeah.
so much they could make something happen at any moment. But like Salah with Liverpool, he plays awful for 90 minutes, but then he pops up with a moment of magic. That's how they look at Bowen and Kudus. But no, I'm already sick of this move, West Ham. I'm sick of looking at England at this stage.
Well, tough shit, pal. You're coming over tomorrow. well, I think you are. I don't know if you've actually bothered to book if you get your flights. Yeah, I think it's been a disaster of a move for Evan Ferguson. What is the point? They're not going to get relegated. You cannot get relegated unless they're done for financial fair play or something. Because the three teams, I mean, United just battered Leicester. That's how bad Leicester are there tonight. They're crap. Southampton are crap. Ipswich are crap. You ain't getting relegated. It's probably the three worst teams I've ever seen being promoted from the Premier League. They are absolutely muck, all three of them. So give the lad a go. What I think it is personally, I was on not our fanzine, which by the way will be released tomorrow for free on LansdowneROAR.ie. I was looking at a West Ham fanzine where apparently Potter did have he was looking at maybe signing him full time, but apparently Brighton were just not playing ball. And from what I heard, I don't know how true it is. Apparently, they were making it very difficult to do business to sign Evan Ferguson full time. So maybe he's gone. Do you know what? For everything I've stated above, or just back there, they ain't getting relegated. We ain't going to get the player on a full-time basis, so I don't really care about him. I'm going to stick with the players that I know I'm going to have next season. I think that's what's happened, and that's, by the way, that is no fault of Evan Ferguson's at all. I just think he's been seriously unlucky.
I say he's been sold. I say he's been sold a dream by West Ham. I know it's only usually a sold dream by permanent move, but I say he's been told you're going to come in and be our starting number 9. Almost because he came on the first game against Brentford. Like if anyone remembers, first game against Brentford, he came on at half time, and that's kind of like thing when you bring someone on at half time. That's thing of I want to get him embedded into the team, and like he done really well. Should have got an assist. Kudus missed an open goal, and then the next game he just stopped playing him against Arsenal away, and I think wants to beat Arsenal. He's kind of stuck with the same thing since. It's just frustrating, like because West Ham, like Potter just seems like Potter's a good manager, but he likes his hipsters way and the thing. He tries to like overthink things at the time. When you look at him, it's like just play Evan. Like it's doing our head in. Like, and now when you see Ferguson come off the bench, it's kind of like a thing of it's like he's shitting himself because he knows he only has such a limited time on the pitch to try and make an impact and make an impression. Like the only way he's going to start really over the next few when he comes back after the international break really is either he comes on off the bench and he scores a goal or two to really put pressure on Potter and be like, yeah, you need to start this lad, or West or Kudus or Bowen pick up an injury. That's the only way I can see him starting again because he, as you said, Potter doesn't want to change things at the moment. Even though Paqueta looks like he could get banned from football for life, he'll continue to play him. Like,
yeah, and that's such a shame for Evan. Like, I mean, these are really formative years for him. This is where he's learning his craft, and he's just wasting time, man. And the other one as well at Brighton, Aaron Cashin. What the fuck was that about? Like, he's not playing he hasn't played a minute, not a minute for Brighton. It's disaster.
It's weird, isn't it? Paid 10 million. I don't worry about that as much because they paid 10 million, and I don't think he was going to play that much.
Still, he's in the same boat, man. Like, I mean, he needs to be playing. He doesn't need to be sitting on the bench. You know, it's not like a goalkeeper understudy situation. He needs to be playing.
Yeah, I know he needs to be playing, but I think that was always going to happen when he was originally going to go to Brighton. Like you see with a lot of lads they bring in. Like, remember Casado when he first went, he didn't really play, and then he went out on loan and stuff. I do think it's just a waiting game with Cashin. I was hopeful that he might have got a game or two, or even played in the cup, which they didn't play him in. But it's frustrating not to give him any opportunities like at all in the league or anything. So hopefully by the end of the season, hopefully they just drift off into a team that's either secured Europe or mid-table, that he can get minutes when it's seen as it's only games at the end of the season.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, anyway, tell us what you think about Oi Big there. Keep your comments coming in. We will get to those in a minute. We're just going to one last topic then before we get into the comments, actually. And of course, this is a story that you broke, Connor, and then you were speaking to the Under-21s manager, Jim Crawford. Check out that video, by the way. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting conversation with Jim Crawford. Much more relaxed atmosphere. And Connor, you're basically the star of the show. with that one, talking to Jim. No, honestly, like trust me, I don't want to listen, folks. I don't give him any credit at all, Connor. I don't, but I will give him credit on this one. It is an excellent interview, back and forth at the press conference.
By the way, it's not an interview. It's just the press
No.
conference. It just ended up being that I ended up asking most of the questions.
No, because it's literally just Connor and Paul Rowan.
People it's me, and then people expanded on my last question.
Yeah.
Basically, what it was.
Yeah, so it's an excellent conversation. Check it out. There it is on the YouTube channel. Just go through our archive. And by the way, that's how many. That's people that watch our channel. Subscribe. You're stealing money from us if you
even
don't.
if 5% of people have subscribed out of that 41%, it'd go a long way, wouldn't it?
It would. We're trying to get to 2,000 before the window closes. Very close. We're at 19th. Where are we at?
It's like 19.3.
Maybe it's has it gone up a little bit? Hold on, let me just double check. We've got
subscriber. Kevin Zefi is going to play for Albania.
Oh God. yeah. And do you want that on your conscience? No. Right. Let's actually talk about Kevin Zefi. Here's the story that you broke here. This is actually earlier today. As reported earlier in the week, Kevin Zefi is in the Albanian under-21 squad. But the FAI stance remains the same. Unless Zefi changes association, he can't play for Albania. And our understanding is no such request has been received by the FAI. They very much see Kevin as an Ireland player. Now, there's a lot of confusion about this, obviously, Connor, and they will, and this is what I want to talk about, because I want to clear this up, and you're the man to clear it up, right? Because people think Jack Grealish, they'll think Declan Rice, this sort of situation, and maybe even Dennis Kirkin or Sirkin, whichever way you pronounce his surname. So just clear this up for us at the moment. I mean, this is a bizarre situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a bit odd, like because I don't think people really understand what's going on. Like Irish people in particular seem to be a bit hypocritical when it comes to dual nationals as such, Dave, as you know, because you're someone with 2 passports, which like we can never forget, even though we can slag over. No, but people can be proud to be from 2 countries. Because the thing is, you can be from 2 countries. Like if you, especially with Kevin has 2 Albanian parents. He spent a lot of time as a kid in summers in Albania, and imagine he still goes there to this day, which makes the affiliation to a country a lot stronger rather than sometimes with grandparents, etc. And people seem to think that because he isn't in one Ireland squad, he wasn't picked, and he's decided to go play for Albania this month, which is for the benefit of his career. Because when you look at it, Kevin's trying to sort his club career out, which is the most important thing anyway with a young lad, because a club career creates an international career. And this is seen as a huge opportunity for him, because believe me, there's a lot of people watching Kevin, and a lot of teams find it hard to judge when a lad is playing in Premier football in Italy, because the coverage of it is absolutely dreadful from whether media or from clubs, and people don't really take it seriously as what some of the talent is in it. So kind of going away and playing international football is the opportunity. And in terms of the rules, Kevin hasn't switched to Albania. He needs to switch to Albania if he wants to play for Albania this week, which the FAI still haven't got anything come through from Albania. So Albania basically will be breaking the rules, FIFA rules, if they call up. Well, Kevin has been called up, and I believe he will be travelling to their games. So Albania will be getting, I don't know how heavily sanctioned, but they'll get sanctioned if they end up playing Kevin this week, because I see a lot of Albanians comments in, "Oh, what's wrong? You're being salty. Why would Ireland not want to?" Thing is, not that Ireland obviously don't want him to play for Albania because they want him to play for Ireland. But if he decides, yeah, I want to play for Albania, there's literally nothing Ireland can do to stand in his way from change of association. It's just impossible. But he hasn't requested the change of association. Albania haven't put their request into FIFA to get his papers transferred. So I know it's a friendly, and people say, "Oh, sure, why would a friendly matter?" But you still have to change associations. It's like the example, Amari Hutchinson that plays for Ipswich. When Heimer was the Jamaica manager last year in the championship, he switched to Jamaica, played 2 games for the Jamaican first team, and then he switched back to England to play for their under-21s this year. But like, people think, oh yeah, but why can't Kevin do that? Because but Kevin has to switch if he wants to do that, which people seem to be so confused over. So it's simple. It's as simple as Kevin is going away with Albania 21s this week, but he shouldn't be going according to FIFA rules because of the way Albania are handling it. Because Albania Go on.
Go on. No, go on. Continue.
Basically, Albania are breaking the rules by bringing them in this week. They are going to get sanctioned by FIFA unless something changes in the next couple of days that he can play for Albania. But I believe he doesn't even have an Albanian passport, so I don't know whether, because it's a friendly and the paperwork, what he actually needs to be completed to switch for this game.
Can the player get sanctioned?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. It happened before, I seen, with another country, and it was just the country got sanctioned. I think it would just be Albania would get sanctioned. To be honest, they'd get a fine, and I think a fine, maybe a slap on the wrist. I don't know how tight they are with the rules, to be honest, but like, I'd imagine the FAI, I know the FAI aren't best pleased with the way Albania handled it. Ireland would be the FAI would be quite up to date in this sort of stuff, because they're quite so used to lads switching, whether it's switching from Northern Ireland or switching to Northern Ireland or from England and vice versa. And like, I know Albania would get quite a lot of lads playing, they were born in other countries switching, but I'm guessing this doesn't really happen all that often with this sort of under 21 situation, because I know with under 15s, under 16s, the rules are quite loose and you can kind of switch whenever. You can just switch at any moment. But when it gets under 21 level, you need to have an official switch to a country if you want someone to go to play for them this month. So if he plays for Albania this Friday, their first game, as things currently stand, which is the most important thing, is how they currently stand. And I couldn't imagine within the next 5.5 days anything will change that would make him eligible as such to play for Albania.
No, so unless there's a gentleman's agreement between the two clubs, between the two countries or something, they come to some agreement.
But I don't think there's such thing. I don't think, because it's not club football where you can. It's literally just the FIFA rules. You have to abide by FIFA's rules for this, and like an official transfer or whatever way. I don't know what way it would go for. Yeah, whatever way to friendlies.
Well, hopefully it gets sorted out anyway, because Kevin, I've watched videos of him when he was a young lad, and he's super talented. For whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out for the moment. So I really hope we get it all sorted out, and he's playing for Ireland in the next couple of years, and he's bagging in goals.
Hopefully he'll be back hopefully he'll be back playing for Ireland in June, because it'll be a 21s camp in June. And as Jim Crawford said the other day in the presser, he spoke to him about getting ready to come and get involved for June. So I think all go well and the season ends well and he gets a good move in the summer, because there will be plenty of interest in him, because he's one of them players that's so talented that clubs will always be interested in him, no matter what. Like, he's one of the most naturally talented players to come out of Ireland. He's in that Evan Ferguson bracket as such. It's just about things haven't went according to plan over the last couple of years, but when you're that talented, things can turn around very easily, Dave.
Absolutely. And we wish Kevin nothing but the best. Right, before we get into the comments, just going to play a video here. This is from Gary Spain. He is the Supporters Liaison Officer, the SLO. You can follow him on Twitter as well. And if you are traveling to Plovdiv, like myself and Connor here, some very important information. Videos just under 3 minutes. We're going to play the whole thing because there's some great information here. And just a few things just to keep in mind, because we're going to have a fanzine tomorrow, which is going to come out. However, we want to make sure that you guys are as safe as possible, because, Ireland fans are brilliant. So here we go. Have a look at this.
Hi, I'm Gary Spain. I'm your SLO, and I'm just recording this video for any fans travelling to Plovdiv for the game against Bulgaria. So, first of all, Plovdiv is a beautiful city. It's an old historical city. It's the longest continuously inhabited city in Europe. And there's loads to see if you're interested in old Roman, Thracian architecture. It's great value for money. It's lots to eat and drink for great value. But I'm making this video just for concerns and just for people's safety, because Northern Ireland played there last September and there were some issues. So I just want to make you aware of them and to take some precautions, and hopefully we'll all go there, have a great time and come back safely. So I spoke with Gary, my equivalent actually, another Gary with Northern Ireland, and some of the issues they had were that fans, so their fans are there like ourselves, that just go there, have a good time, have a few drinks. The Bulgarian police, by the way, are fully aware that it's a low-risk game, that the Irish fans are no threat. However, some local fans did ambush some Northern Ireland fans. So it's just to be on your guard, and a few things I would recommend. Ideally, if you want to socialise, eat and drink, there will be a high police presence around Stefan Stambolov Square, which is right in the centre, and the side streets off it. The police are there for your protection. They're not there to try and catch you out on anything. I would advise just check with your hotel if you want to stay locally. Normally, if I walked into Barron's or lots of football paraphernalia for Locomotive or Botev, probably a place I'd be happy to stay in. Probably best avoided in this case. They may be considered holy ground. It's just be careful. Get some advice from your hotel, and please, when you're heading home, please try and get a taxi. A taxi should cost less than €5, maximum €10 to go anywhere in Plovdiv, and just from safety, get a taxi, stay in numbers. And finally, at the game, in the Irish section, we're almost certainly going to have a holdback afterwards, anything from 30 to 60 minutes. And it's 1.8 kilometres into the city centre. I don't expect any public transport to be running at that time. There will be taxis, but we are asking fans that are able to walk to please walk and leave the taxis for those fans who won't be able to make that walk. As I said, it's 1.8 kilometres. So stay safe and see you in Plovdiv. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Gary. Gary, of course, the SLO officer for the FAI, with some excellent information there and advice. Of course, stay in numbers, because look, Bulgaria, I've heard, is a lovely place. James, who writes in the fanzine, James Agnew, by the way, friend of the podcast, who I'm sure will be listening the day after, because he's also out on the lash, like most people, drowning his sorrows, I'm sure. After today's result, anyway. Yes, he was there a couple of weeks ago, and he said it's beautiful. But football does funny things, folks, to people. So just keep that in mind and be safe. And you see Connor and myself walking around, say hi. We will be vlogging everything over there. Vlogging, not vlogging. Martin isn't coming. Right. Let's. Yeah, no, we love Martin wherever he is. He's also probably not watching till tomorrow, seeing what he's saying about me. Anyway, right, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into your comments. Of course, just a quick reminder, if we haven't already, please do subscribe to the page. It really does help. And yeah, and also head over to lansdowneroar.ie. It's pretty good. It's a good website. It's getting better. Right, here we go. Should have changed the graphics on that. Never mind. Right. Here we go. Nick Khan. I wonder how many players will pull out of the games and be fully fit for the clubs. How you doing, Nick? Over on the YouTube channel. I mean, it's a competitive game, Connor. I don't see that happening. Do you? I mean, Will Smallbone could be out. Obviously, he's injured at the moment. So, yeah.
I'd imagine everyone else is going to travel.
Yeah, just Will Smallbone. Will be interested to see who comes in, but I do reckon Andy Moran. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Connor Coventry?
Not a League One player or past that, I think. Even though Coventry's he's actually doing very well at Charlotte at the moment, but like, not League One players, please, God, no.
Even though you make me put him in the fucking eye big. Baylor.
Well, he got called up for a national team, so you have to.
Now, you just want me to do more work. Slave driver. Baylor, beauty ditsy goal against Grimsby. Good man, Baylor. Grimsby, did you see it?
Yeah, it was outrageous. It was a shock. Did you not see it? Is there a surprise that he scored a beauty and Mr. Prendergast has not decided to come on?
Yeah, I mean, coincidence, folks. Surely not. Ryan Kelly, how you doing, Ryan? Evening, lads. Up to 2 in Army. God. Shame to see Egan Riley and Sirkin slip away from us to be called up to the under-21s. I hope Adarmola, probably butchering that name, can continue his great form and make the step up. Yeah, definitely lacking in the left-back situation. How mad will that be, Connor, if Sirkin does make it to the England team and he's born in Dublin?
Not really. Not mad.
No?
Not really, to be honest, because it's just he was born in Dublin. Like, it was like there's nothing else Irish about him, really, because like I don't think he considers himself Irish, to be honest. But I have a funny feeling, Dave, he was on the verge of being called up by either Ireland or Latvia, because he was a pretty poor form for Sunderland there. He was dropped a couple of games, wasn't going well for him, getting taken off in games. And then all of a sudden, when he's in bad form, when like the start of the season, he was considered the best left back in the Championship, and all of a sudden he's playing poorly, and then he gets brought up to England 21s. Seems to make me think that he was on the verge of switching. And the thing is, he can probably, even if he doesn't make the England 21s in the summer, or makes the 21s, and he plays for them in the Euros, I think the rules will still change. Like, remember the rules was on about the 21s caps won't count, and he could end up switching to Ireland or Latvia. Like, but no, it's more Egan Riley, because I think Egan Riley, because he's already played for us before at under 15, under 16 level. Like, so.
I agree with you there in Circle. I do think he was maybe on the. Oh, they were looking at him and Egan Riley when he went to, it was Sunderland and Burnley game, wasn't it? In Turf Moor, I believe, and or wherever it was. And basically, yeah, I agree with that. It is that cynical. Obviously, Lee Carsley is back down as the under 21s manager, former Irish international.
And the thing is, he did say in the presser that there's a lot of Irish eligible lads he's been talking to, and he's hopeful that have been very keen to get involved with it. God knows who he's on. I hope he's not on about Josh Key or something like that. Well, it probably is. Like, I think he's considered like someone that would come in if he got a chance to come in. But
Lee Carsley said this.
No, Heimer at the presser. But he's been speaking to lads about getting involved with Ireland. So maybe there could be ones that'll say, oh yeah, I'll switch after this under 21s Euros or something. Because the thing is, playing under 21s Euros is still a big tournament as such. Like, it's shown on whatever national TV in every country, and if you win that, it's a big achievement. So maybe they're thinking, oh, I'll play this under 21s Euro and then I'll move on to Ireland or something like that. But that's just me thinking of all possible options that they could be thinking.
Okay. Dean Flood, the FAI audio at the press conference can be quite bad. I've never had an issue with it before, Dean, but yeah, it was a bit strange. But I mean, yeah, I know what it's like with sound when you do a live event, Connor? It can be out of your hands. Just saying. Can Zefi and Farungi are off. Farungi.
If Farungi, his name's not Farungi. It's spelled wrong. It's Farizai, but it's spelled wrong.
Farizai. Okay. Well, I'm just reading what's on the thing.
Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm laughing. That's the way it's spelled Farungi is funny, but that's not his name. But Justin Farizai isn't switching to Albania. That's lies. Someone's put that out there just for
lies.
Someone, but not the journalist who put that out there. I mean, someone who put the information out there is doing it for the FAI's attention as such. That lad only wants to play for Ireland, really.
Fair. Dean Floyd. So potentially, if Zefi plays an under 21 game, and he hasn't officially switched to those under 21 games, he hasn't officially switched. Those under 21 games become forfeits because he fielded an ineligible player.
Yeah. Right. Results doesn't really matter anyway because it's a friendly, but in terms of it is an ineligible player that they are feeling, so they would get sanctioned. I don't know how they'd sanction it because it's a friendly, but
that's why they're doing it.
Yep. Probably Nick about it. That's probably why they're doing it. Like,
yeah. Nick, is Smallbone injured again? Yes, he is. Cousin Will. Baylor, I do have a bone to pick with Armstrong. He missed a sitter against Sheffield and cost me €40. Apologise to him, Connor.
He didn't miss. It was an unbelievable save. You forgot to mention that, but it was disappointing not to see him score.
Are you calling Baylor a liar?
No.
Are you calling our follower a liar? Our subscriber a liar?
No.
Family member a liar?
How do you know he's subscribed? We don't know he's subscribed yet. I'd imagine.
Actually, Baylor. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get it up. You are.
Are you one of that 41%?
Yeah. Are you, Baylor? I can't even find the fucking thing. Are you one of the 41% or the 59%? Very important. Don't watch your stream illegally. Be legal. Right, where am I again? Oh my God. Here we go. Dean Flood. Could it possibly just Dave doing the pre-match in Bulgaria? Oh, I don't know. Well. Put it this way: Connor's actually staying in mine either tonight or tomorrow.
Not tonight.
Sorry, not tonight. Sorry, tomorrow night or the night after. So yeah, and we're both traveling. We're on the same plane and all that. So hopefully he is. Otherwise, something's gone completely wrong. But no. Please God, we'll both be there. Touch wood. Martin Fitzpatrick, how you doing, Martin? Jacob Bryan, take a bow, son. Yeah, he did very well. Great diving header, wasn't he? Well, it wasn't a diving header, but just went for it.
Good to see.
Yeah, even though I hate Everton. Nick Can, a few players still need to be removed from the men's senior team. I agree, despite what I said earlier on.
Dave's list of people he would move from the senior team are, I think, Evan Ferguson, Troy Power, Sinclair Armstrong, Nathan Collins, anyone basically below the age of 23. Dave only wants old people in.
I don't. Just, I just want players to be ready. That's all. No. Listen, not at all. Listen. I think Heimer was handed a very shitty hand by circumstance, and basically had very little time to prepare his team, to prepare his players, and to be thrown in the deep end. And a camp in June will do him and the players a world of good. There you go. I've said it. So no. But yeah, I do agree. There are some players that need to come out of that, and they will. I think when June arrives, he's going to see what a lot of these lads are about. They're going to put themselves in the shop window, and for Ireland and for the clubs, they're going to do well. If Small One pulls out, who comes in since Malumbi is suspended? Asked Dean Flood. It's going to be any more than John Patrick, isn't it, Connor?
Or Alan Brown, or Connor Coventry, or that's really it. Like, I don't know who else they'd consider.
He's not going to bring in Luke O'Connell, is he?
No, they're different types of players.
Yeah, that's true. Down 10-1-2-3. Hi, lads. It looks like Ireland have a lot better than Zefi at under 21 level, so not much to worry about. Happy enough with senior squad if Smallbone, who will come in, we just answered that one there as well. Do you agree with that? He's much better at under 21s?
No, Zefi would be the most talented player in under 21s. It's just his club career isn't. Some lads are ahead in terms of club career. They're playing first team football and stuff, but in terms of talent, he'd be better than I think anyone. Like,
okay. Mark Curran, he's expecting future Ballon d'Or winner Vata to start.
Second game probably.
Yeah,
not first game. I don't think.
I think Johnson will start first game. Excuse me, only because he knows him. I think Halgrims was a very pragmatic manager. As I said, the squad didn't surprise me at all. Jack Taylor one was a bit weird, I thought, only because he hasn't been playing, but he was very impressed by him, obviously, in the game against Greece away. He played in the... Did he play in the Remedy game? I can't remember.
He was injured.
He was injured, wasn't he? Yes, that's right. But he was excellent against Greece, so he probably remembers that, and that's why he went with him. So anyway, but yeah, I think Vata will definitely play the second game. Baylor, woke nonsense putting O'Dowda over Manning. Yeah, what has Ryan Manning done to?
It's just he hasn't. They just seem to go with experience in that position. And Heimer said we are strong in that position, probably because we have an option that's not a Premier, as it is a Premier League player not making the squad. But it's disappointing. I'd say Manning is very frustrated over his situation with Ireland because, like, I know when he's played, he hasn't really shone, but he probably thinks he hasn't really got a fair crack at the wheel. Like, he hasn't got a consistent. I know you don't get consistent game time in international football because you play 2 games max in a window, but he's never even got the 2 games in a window or played I'd say even 90 minutes course, 2 games.
Fair. Nick, League One is actually quite strong at the moment compared to previous years. That's obviously against Connor's comments calling League One shite.
No, you would apology me calling it shite because...
Oh, yeah, I was a bit strong, yes. But Stad Ram.
You mean, yeah, they're a shy team in the league, but the league it's a good league in general.
The league's okay, yeah. It is better. To be fair, I mean, PSG, probably going to be champions of Europe this season, for once. Better than the championship anyway. No, I'll roll back on that one a little bit. I was emotional, Nick. Nick Khan again. Wonder if this team for the upcoming international games will win either home or abroad. Northern Ireland beat Bulgaria 5-0 in Windsor Park. I think a draw.
That's negative, isn't it? I wonder if they'll win home or away. Jesus Christ, we don't win at home. I'd be questioning serious things. I don't think I'd ever go to an Ireland match ever again, to be honest.
No, I could see something maybe like a 1-1 in Bulgaria and then maybe 2-0 win or something like that at home. Here's your burner account. Kevin Zefi. Is it up? Who are you going to be next week? Why is that guy always giggling? And David Waffle. That's bloody. Is that Bill? Is it?
Definitely is Bill Gean.
Has to be Bill. Nick Can. even Ferguson's situation not improved in West Ham either.
I thought you called him Evan Ferguson there for a second.
Oh, he was continental, I would.
Yeah.
No, we spoke about it earlier on, Nick. Absolutely rubbish situation. And we think because, well, I think it's because he's not going to be signed. Maybe he thought he was going to get it permanently. It's not going to happen. And he's just cast him to the side because there's no jeopardy for West Ham in the Premier League because the bottom three are so bad. Rolling Stone. Like a Rolling Stone. I better not do that, actually. We'll probably get... I'm sorry, Connor. Have you got a problem? My dulcet
No, it's not with you. It's not with you.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's a bit silly of me. Anytime that guy's name comes up, should be called Rolling Eyes.
No, it's not. It's not even. It's just the name in the comment.
Okay. Scotland have a kid coming through in Lennon Miller, who's going to be a star. Him and Gilmore linking up in midfield will bring them up a level.
He brings him up every single fucking video live. Lennon Miller, this. We don't care about Lennon Miller, Rolling Stone. I know
it's an Irish podcast.
I don't know why you love him so. I know you like him as a player, but you talk about him every video. Just brings up Scotland and Scotland this, Scotland that. Watch it. We bring up Ben Doak again before the end of the video.
Do you live in Scotland, Rolling Stone? Where do you live? We really needed a technically gifted midfielder like that Lennon Miller kid. Kevin Zefi, wink, wink. I don't agree with you, David. Waffle fraud. Then continues. Yeah, Dave, you fraud. How about you get on the creatine and play? What? I'm a fraud again.
Dave means back up your words.
Oh, is that what the kids say? What?
It means what you're saying about all these players. Why don't you play yourself and get on the creatine and play?
I tell you something. Whoever you are, burner account. I was quite a decent player, actually. Used to play 5-side up in Tala. And Finglas and Kulak. Yeah. Right. Baylor, Mikey Johnson fall off isn't spoken about enough. That's the point, isn't it?
He's been doing well lately. Got man of the match against Leeds away with what was that like 3 weeks ago? So I don't think it's fall off. I don't think you can say that. I think it's too early to say that now, Baylor.
Fair. Nick, what is this bollocks? Alan Brown hasn't done anything. He does correct himself. Hasn't done anything in a year, and even back then he didn't do much.
Literally.
Is that our old Nick? Yeah. Look, in context, we're talking about experience, and it's a must-win game. It's just a no nonsense. Get the win done. Burner account, Kevin Zefi again. David Fraud Guardiola. Got a hard on for me, hasn't he? Jesus Christ. Rolling Stone. John Patrick Finn should be in the first 11. Alan Brown is awful. He has a good shot on him. He's not that awful. He's got a good shot on him. No, but look, Alan Brown, right? Say what you want about him. He does pop up for the important goals. And he does. Doesn't he?
What's all? I know he scored against Scotland, but who else?
Norway.
Was that a friendly?
Yeah. But he still scored.
You said important goals.
Well, yeah. I mean, are you saying that not all goals for Ireland are important? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Connor McAvoy?
No.
Every goal for Ireland is important.
What about in a team context here, not in an individual context?
Every individual green.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Every game in green is important, Connor. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. A competitive match to be important when you're playing for Ireland. Thank you. I shut you up. Davey, are you a goalie? Says Kevin Zefi. I actually was a good goalkeeper as well.
Oh, shut up. If someone asked you, were you a good ballerina, you'd say yeah.
Listen, I could hit the what's it that they call them? The toe point. What's the thing I'm looking? No, I couldn't. I used to go out with somebody I could.
Right, go on, but yeah.
No, I was actually a decent goalkeeper back in the day. I was good. I was a good goalkeeper. Nick Han, don't beat Bulgaria, then it's Group C and no chance to get to the World Cup. Exactly. So he just that obviously dispels the myth. that going down to Group C would be good for Ireland to qualify for the World Cup, but actually wouldn't. I know, Conor, you spoke about that in the past. It really wouldn't be with the permutations, and that's what I'm saying. He just wants a nice.
I don't think it affects this World Cup though.
You just have to concentrate everything I say, don't you?
It doesn't, because this World Cup goes off because we haven't done good enough in the Nations League anyway to get basically secure a playoff anyway. It would have to be, I think it's like the next Euros as such and World Cup period that it would affect, if you get me. Because this one's already sealed off, lads. That, like, was it Wales who ended up winning their group in Group B? Like, I think they're pretty much guaranteed a playoff from that. Like, our whole qualifying will end up finishing is based on finishing top 2. But in general, yeah, we can't be losing the Bulgaria and getting relegated. Like,
fair. Rolling Stone. Annie Moran has been dropped by Stoke. The Stoke fans hate him. Moran's confidence is shot. He is going to have to go the Wes route to make it in the Premier League. He's going to have to go down to League 2 to come back up. That's what Rolling Stone's saying.
I'm not answering that.
No. Typical snowflake. Downtown 123 would consider Killian Phillips or Connor Coventry, as both players are playing regularly, to replace. I presume that's to replace Will Smallbone. Killian Phillips.
Did you see his goal at the weekend?
No.
Outrageous goal, unbelievable goal he scored for St Mirren. He's on loan from Palace. I think they have an option to buy in this summer, I think. But I think he's shown this year he could make a step up to a higher level than that, because he's been brilliant. Like, and he's that type of strong, fast, athletic midfielder, and you can tell he proper loves his country. He's a very proud Irishman, so it would be great to see him if he could break through into the Ireland senior setup. Coventry, I think Coventry needs to step up to the championship, to be honest. But I think he probably will in the summer. Like, he's doing very well, and Charlton actually have a chance of, well, if they're going to go up, they'd go up through playoffs, but they have a somewhat of a chance. He's doing well, but the thing is, because we don't know what way Heimer's working the ladder of players off. Like, I don't think anyone thought Connor Coventry was going to come in as that last minute replacement in England, even though it probably was a easy option to bring him in because it was based in England. He's from he lives in Charlton. Like, but no, I would. Both of them are definitely options, but I just don't know how far down the pecking order they actually are.
Fair. Rolling Stone. We should play to our strengths, make ourselves hard to beat, and Jacob Bryan will score a few goals from corners. I agree with that. I think pragmatism is the key with this group of players. Until, I'm not saying, we do a Martin O'Neill or even a Trapattoni, we can still play some stuff against the so-called lower opposition, but I do think we need to make ourselves hard to beat. We've been a bit soft as shite, actually, in the last few games. Mentally, we need to toughen up big time. Harrison Daglish. Hello, Harrison Daglish. Hi, lads. What's going on with Kevin Zefi? Does he think he could just head off to Armenia on loan like it's a club soccer? For fuck's sakes. I think that's Albania.
Armenia. Mkhitaryan over here.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did answer that. No, I think he's just, from what we believe, he's just trying to get the attention of the FEI. Say, hello, I'm over here. Pick me. He does really want to play for Ireland. True, Connor?
Yeah. It's for the benefit of his career. It's not for the benefit of trying to annoy Irish. He's not trying to annoy Irish people. Like,
no. He's not trying to turn code or whatever. Has Connor not seen Moran play for Stoke? His confidence is shot. He is barely able to kick a ball now. He can't even get on the pitch, Connor. He can't even get out of bed.
What do you mean? He's been dropped 2 games in a row, and he came on last weekend off the bench. Stoke, it's not that he can't kick a ball. He doesn't get to touch the ball because they're so shit. You just don't touch the ball when you play for them because they're shit. And then Robbins throws him out as right midfielder sometimes, and like, waste of time. I just think, as Dave, I said a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was a month or two ago, about get him out of the championship. It's just a waste of a player of his ability playing in the championship with his technical ability. He needs to go down. If he's not going to be playing with Brighton, he needs to go down the European route and play somewhere in Europe, because it's a waste of time playing the championship for a player of his ability. And unless it's like the top championship teams that dominate possession, but like, you have to get lucky in a sense to go to one of them, because any team in the championship can magically become good all of a sudden.
I think Eredivisie would suit him. Like what it's done for Troy Parrott. It lets game breathe a little bit, get a bit more time in the ball in the Eredivisie. And, you're Italy, no, because they kick you in Italy. Championship is a tough league. It's a very tough league. Go to Eredivisie, develop his game a bit more, the technical side of it. I know he's technically very, very good. And then basically bulk up, get stronger, and then come back to England. because you know
Because
that's where
the thing is, you don't know what Brighton's plan are. Like last year, he went away in first team for pre-season, and he impressed a lot, playing regularly for them. And then they give him another new contract after he's been signing a new contract basically every summer over the last couple of years. Like, and I think his contract still runs for like 4 years. Like Brighton think he is one of their top talents. Like from that's come through the academy. It's just about getting the right low. So it's just the right low move that like will just take him to the next level. Like.
Fair. Nick says Jacob Bryan was very good. He has to start. And Rolling Stone says Bryan is our best chance of a goal at the moment. Yeah, I agree with those. Definitely has to start. Harrison, Dalglish, even Rolling Stone, you talk absolute nonsense. Team Blood. And Rolling Stone comes back, and your English is terrible. You guys are having a bit of a tit for tat on there, so we're not going to get into that on here.
No, we can. We read them out. It's a bit of crack.
You want to? Okay, we'll read them out. Team Flood, I think there's a solid chance he starts Evan over Troy. He'd probably start both of them, to be honest, Dean. I think there's although Azaz in behind Ferguson or Paris actually could work as well. But if you wanted to get the two lads, but did you say Ferguson over Troy to start?
No, I would have if he was playing, but he's not playing, so I said Troy. Yeah, if Ferguson was playing, I'd imagine he's fit enough if he came in, he could start. Like I think he'll start one of the two games. It just depends which. Will he go for size with Ferguson in the first game? Just don't start Eden. I'll be happy.
Fair. Nick says Knight is so consistent for Bristol City this season. I'd start him too. Yeah, he's excellent.
He's unbelievable. He's such a good player. He's so underrated. I think he's the most underrated player in the championship, to be honest. He's so good. Man, the match on Friday as well, and it's just his composure on the ball. Like I think he will start, Dave, to be honest, away. I think he's one that has to start in midfield beside Cullen. He done it in Finland away. I think Smallbone's the only real competition for that, but Smallbone's not playing as such.
No, I wouldn't be mad at that if you played him in the centre with Cullen. Energy driving forward. He's also aggressive. I think he could do a job on the right, and you could play Azaz in beside Cullen as well. Very balanced team, but I wouldn't be mad at it. He's an excellent player, Jason Knight. Kevin Zefi. Would you not have put Jay Cork in there instead of Brown? Davey now. It's Davey, is it? And it says David. What are those sirens?
Is it a spud?
I don't know what that is. What emoji that is?
I need to go check on Twitter.
Fuck knows. I don't even know what Jay Cork is. I don't know.
Neither do I. I don't have a clue who that is either, to be honest.
Rolling Stone. I may talk nonsense, but unlike most on here, I actually realize it. I don't think you have the self-awareness to realize that you talk through your arse. Mark Curran. SLO video looks like a hostage video. God. Kevin Zefi says David Goggles. David Goggles. That's a new one. You're a whopper, man.
Davey Goggles.
You're a whopper, man. No football IQ. Happy St. Patrick's Day. 0 IQ, Davey. And he's got a little emoji thing on it.
I think it's a spud. I think that's what I don't know what it is. Or maybe is it a space? It's like a spacer, calling you a spacer.
Probably. You wouldn't be too far wrong on that.
Or a waffle. It could be a waffle, actually.
Oh, it's a waffle. Yeah. It
yeah,
looks like
a
waffle.
Yeah.
Okay. Waffly versatile.
Yeah.
Bird's eye potato waffles. They were class. Dean Flood. Looking forward to seeing Keely playing at a higher level next season. Hopefully.
100%.
Rolling Stone, I think. Sorry.
I just said 100%.
Fair enough. Rolling Stone, I think we should I think we should beat Bulgaria comfortably, but that's just another nonsensical comment from me. That's
the most positive comment he's ever put.
Yeah, I think Rolling Stone's got the arsehole in. Felt as we love you, Rolling Stone. I actually do. You're part of the Roar faithful. Yeah. Number 3210 hash dial. You're the funniest person ever, Dave. I swear to God, I love it, lads. Thank you.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or not.
Good man. It's not. Good man. 3210. Thank you very much.
Don't forget the hashtag.
Hashtag. Well, number dial also is the old name for it. Number sign or number dial, I think it's called. The old name before it became the hashtag. Well, we're here to entertain you as well as talk football or bollocks. or waffle, according to young Kevin Zefi. Dean Flood would like to see Knight move in the summer. Yeah, he's better than Bristol City. They're just pissing around, and no offense to any Bristol City fans, by the way. I can see Knight at Bournemouth. They love buying Bristol City players. That'd be a shout, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he would. He would do well there.
Yeah.
I think he'd do well anywhere. He's a brilliant player.
Kevin Zefi. David, where can I get that Lansdowne mug from? This one, you say, Kevin? Well, it's not for sale. I can get you one if you want one. Just saying. Just saying. Probably should actually sell these, by the way. What do you think of that? Got a couple. There was one that was made from that was given to me at the match. Do you remember, by Rob?
Yeah.
Very kind. Actually, that's over in the sink over there. A lovely mug also. Gave one to Martin. You didn't get one, Connor. Dean Flood. Wow. Forwards coming in good form. This is going to go well. Is that sarcasm? I thought we had a terrible win, though. Is it sarcasm?
It's sarcasm. All the forwards are scoring.
Has to be. Rolling Stone. Connor, you cannot excuse Moran's awful performances for Stoke because it's the championship. Harvey Elliott played in the championship and he tore it up. Hold on. And one more. A poor workman blames his tools, Connor. No. Don't want to respond to it. What is your response, Connor?
Not every player. There's been a lot of players who went to the championship and not done well in loan. The thing is, he was doing well at the start of the year, if you remember, when they actually could play football, and then they sacked all their managers, and now they play old school 1970s football, and how he's meant to do it.
Okay. Nick, Joe Hodge finally starting a game for Huddersfield and did very well.
Yeah, it's good to see. He should be playing at a higher level. He's one I think should be going to play abroad, as well. He should be looking to go down the Josh Cullen route.
Fair. Go to Anderlecht. But go abroad. Nick, Ferguson was supposed to come on in the 60th minute, but then West Ham scored and Potter went defensive. That makes sense, actually. Nick, thank you very much.
Did he actually? He must have said that. I'm guessing he must have said that in the presser after because he must have been asked about lack of minutes.
Yeah, or probably just was watching him and probably saw he was getting ready to come off, and then he scored, and then just Dean Flood, what do you think Evan does next season? Please God say he doesn't drop to the championship. Fire his agent. That's what I'd be doing. No, I kid. The thing is, he's a super talented player, and I don't know, this Hurtzler guy just doesn't fancy him for whatever reason. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I've heard no reports of ill discipline, Connor. We haven't heard any reports or anything like that. I just think he's been, Dean, honest to God, I don't make excuse for players. That's Connor's job. I really think he has been incredibly unlucky. I really do. Kieran Kelly, big week for Irish football. Nathan Collins and Jacob Bryan can be Ireland's centre-back partnership for the next 10 years. Keep up the great work, lads. Thank you very much, Kieran. We do appreciate it. Although I do think for now he's going to play right back because we don't have a right back, really. Well, actually, we've got Darrell O'Shea playing right back. We've got Jimmy Dunn playing right back, and now Matt Doherty playing right back. Anyway, Sam Hendrick, Kevin Zefi hasn't played men's football in 5 years. It's time to forget about him. If lads aren't committed to the cause, then forget about them. Quickly on that one, Connor?
Nothing. We already spoke about it 20 times already, so I think we've got the point, or what we've said. Not to, I know people are saying, but they're coming back onto it.
Delaney's duds. Was the move to Leverkusen ever actually on, though? For Evan, I'm not sure anyone outside the Premier League would have afforded his wages / loan fee. It was on, wasn't it?
No, it was as good as, it was nailed on. It was actually happening. It was as good as done. But I imagine, I don't know what the loan fee would have been. Maybe the loan fee might have been less, but I'm sure they would have covered his wages.
Fair. Hope Evan scores against Bulgaria and gives Potter more reasons to play him, says Nick. Dean Flood, you think a player accused of putting in poor performances to win bets would get dropped? The lad at Paqueta is at West Ham.
Yeah, getting yellows on purpose.
It's bad, man. And their wages, Baylor, what championship team will Obafemi play for next year? Not even being a mainstay at Plymouth. He's destined for League One, and hopefully he picks up form. Probably
sad to see, isn't it?
It's very
Such a
bad.
such a likable guy, but like Jesus Christ, he's letting his career go the way to nothing. Like
Super talented. That goal against Scotland, arguably the best goal scored by an Irish player
at the
in
Viva.
in Lansdowne ROAR. Definitely. I mean, it's up there with Lee Miller, John Sheridan against. I'm not talking about important, by the way. I'm talking about just sheer, like, wow. Lee Miller against Sweden in 2006, his one and only goal. 1st of March, I think that was. Or 1st of March.
Because I remember you posted that last week, I think. So that's why I remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's a screamer. And then John Sheridan's against Bolivia, 94. Absolute thunder bastard. That was the first goal like that I've seen. Because when Irish players used to score goals, they were always daisy cutters or free. They're always headers or daisy cutters from
But I
outside
think
the
you know what the
box.
Obafemi one. It wasn't important because it was the Nations League. It felt like such an important goal. It felt like the turning point of that
Yep.
Stephen Kenny era, didn't it? That day we turned it all around against Scotland.
Yeah,
and then
we did.
And then we went away and we thought we were going to do the away from home. And then Troy Parrott missed a 1-on-1, which we don't want to speak about. It could have been so different. It could have been so different. And then it all turned.
Yeah, that was a cracking game of football. Sliding doors moments. Cracking game of football. Anyway, Dean Flood of Femi would be a massive League of Ireland signing, just saying.
He's not going to go League of Ireland.
Would he have?
Stop.
Nick, well, ideally you'd want Paqueta to play with Ferguson because he's West Ham's only creative player.
Yeah, it's true.
Baylor, and if Evan Ferguson drops the championship next year and stinks up the gaff, it's going to be a straight struggle.
He's not going to the championship.
Yeah.
Stop.
Rolling Stone, Evan will probably have to drop to the championship.
Oh, stop.
His confidence.
Stop.
It's not ideal, but it's not really any way back for him. Listen to what he's saying, Connor. Listen to what Rolling Stone is saying. He has a point. Does
What's
he not?
the point? No, he's not going to the championship, but just stop.
I mean, there's poor Andy Moore, and he can't even leave the house. His confidence is shot. He can't even get out of bed.
Can't even. He's afraid of getting shot if he leaves house because the Stoke fans hate him that much.
Well, I mean, it is Stoke. No, I kid. I've never been to Stoke, actually.
I've been to Stoke.
Is there a chance of getting shot?
There's just nothing in that place. It's just like a by-through town as such.
Alton Towers is up. Alton Towers is up there, isn't it?
Yeah, but you wouldn't say that's in the city as such.
No, of course not. It's Alton Towers. You're not going to have Alton Towers in the city centre.
Yeah.
Although, funny enough, Newcastle Stadium's in the city centre, which is mad. Been there. Newcastle game. Newcastle Crystal Palace. It was my 30th birthday. Jesus, 11 years ago, I was bollocksed. I was so hungover. Anyway, so I keep forgetting I've actually been to St. James's Park. Baylor, at Dean Flood, he won't take League of Ireland money. That, of course, is Michael Obafemi. And then he goes, I know, but it would be cool. It would be. Adam Curtis, with Mason Mealy being named in the under-21s for these two friendlies, do you think he possibly should have been left to be named in the under-19 squad for the Euro Elite qualifiers? Connor.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't get it. Crawford said the other day, I think I really disagree with Crawford saying that he considers him an under-21s player now and that he should be in the under-21s. But no, my opinion is that he should be in the 19s because their qualifiers should be considered more important because getting an under-19s Euro would be a lot bigger of a deal for the country. Even though Michael Noonan's a great step up from the under-17s to come in and replace him. But no, because with Ike Arazi and Trent Coney-Doherty on the two wings, imagine Mason Mealy as the number 9 in that team. That'd be as good as any team in Europe really at that age. So it's disappointing to see him not be with that side, but maybe they might fly him in for the last game because I know they play, looking at the fixtures, they play Finland and Slovenia whilst under 21s are playing. And if they win them two matches, it would mean you'd imagine it'll be against Germany to qualify. Whoever wins that will qualify. And it's the day after the last 21s match. So maybe they might think, we'll fly Mason over to Germany to play that last game, which would be a big addition.
There you go.
Probably want to save money, but that's just my thought process.
Harrison Dalglish. Hi, Rolling Stone. You're clueless. Ferguson obviously won't go down to the championship. What do you like? Most likely scenarios, he goes back in at Brighton. Danny Welbeck is only getting older. Of course, Dalglish, because we all know how much the Brighton manager loves him. Jesus. You seriously think Brighton will send a player who they value at £50 million to Championship? Files in your brain, Rolling Stone. Flies in your brain, Rolling Stone. He responds, I know it's hard, Dalglish, but it's time to let go. Ferguson isn't going to be the world beater you think he will be. Have a little cry for yourself and get over it. Who is going to pay £50 million for him now? Wow. Rolling Stone. Yeah, he's not taking it this week. Baylor, Bradford getting promoted to League One. Will add a few more players to Heimer's radar due to most of the Irish lads over there being young.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. Harrison Dalglish, what's happened to giving young players time to develop? Money. That's what it is, isn't it, Connor? Like, it's just money. Too much pressure in the Premier League. If you're in a relegation battle or you're chasing Europe, you ain't going to give young players a go unless you have absolutely no choice. Those days
Or
are
even
gone.
it'd be a sort of thing. It's like if he was doing this in the Championship or something, we'd be like, oh, give him time. He has time. But because he's doing it in the best league, we have such high expectations from him. It's because we have such a high expectations. We expect Ferguson to be a superstar at 20. That's probably why. Where there's so much pressure. And then when you put so much pressure on someone, it ends up being from being the perfect, or what's it? It's so, but what are you laughing at?
The next comment. Sorry, go on,
All right,
continue.
go on. No, it's just because when it's so bipolar people are with Ferguson. So it's either when it's high, like when he scores a good goal, everyone's so good that he's just going to be the world beater. And then when it goes bad, it's like, oh no, he's overrated, he's shite.
Fair. They were on playing twice if you're in danger, Gary. Oh, God. I love our Roar faithful, even if you don't love me sometimes.
Good man, Bowesford.
Come on, David Road. Nick, don't think Ferguson has a future at Brighton when Hertzler is in charge. He's still too good for the Championship, though. Yeah, I agree too. Adam Curtis, the front line would look a lot stronger with Milius through the middle, Trent, Koenig, Doherty one side, Arazzi the other, and Naz Raji in the 10 position. Yeah. Connor agrees. He's not shouting at you, Adam, so I presume he agrees. Rolling Stone, did it ever occur to you, Dalglish? We're still going here. That Brighton might not rate Ferguson. Has a thought like that ever crossed your tiny mind? You know, Adam Curtis could be possible front four for Ireland in the future. And the players that he named there, says Adam Curtis. Harrison Dalglish, Christ, Rolling Stone, your messages are becoming more and more unreadable each time. Basic grammar and punctuation, please. You're not exactly a wordsmith yourself, says Rolling Stone. Mark Current, Dave, no skipping messages this week. I want your analysis on these insults to chat. Well, there you go, Mark. You've got what you wanted. I'm all for freedom of speech here, as long as it's kept within certain, doesn't get us kicked off YouTube kind of thing. I'm kept within a little bit of taste. Dean Flood, Rolling Stone, I have a group chat that I think you'll love.
It's the Telegram Rep Tracker group chat, I think. Because there'll be plenty of arguments in there.
Oh, okay. Rolling Stone, do you know where you can stick your group chat?
Yeah.
Rolling Stone, he's mad as hell. He ain't going to take it anymore. Oh, God. Dean Flood, that's just rude. It's a call for it and it's downright mean, says Dean Flood. Baylor, Connor, can you tell us now why you knew that Vata was going to stick with Ireland a month or so ago? Oh.
A man doesn't reveal his sources, just say I've good sources.
Baylor, I can second that. If you see us in Plovdiv, we'll probably tell you. But yeah, I can absolutely second that. Yes, we knew it. It was, yeah. Rolling Stone, you could write the book on being mean. Rolling Stone says to Dean Flood. Mean Dean Flood. That's what you should be calling yourself. Proper 80s wrestling name, Mean Gene Okerlund. Kevin O, what about Connor running the under-21 press conference a few days ago? Some lad. Absolutely, yeah. It was excellent. Check it out. It is, and I don't want to give him credit. His head's big enough as it is. It won't fit in my flat when he shows up tomorrow with his, I don't know, his satchel, his school bag. What's that? Yeah, I'll probably get it. No. Yeah, no, he's excellent. He was absolutely excellent. Connor was. Check it out there. It is in the YouTube asked some really good questions there, so it is enjoyable. I was watching the whole thing; it was brilliant. Dean Flood, no, I can't read, says Dean Flood to Rolling Stone. Mark Curran, seen it mentioned a few times about 21's rule changes, but when is it planned to happen? Do you know, Connor? Quickly.
Someone sent me it like a couple of months ago. I think it's April or May. I don't know, but it will happen. Like, it's just a matter of when, not if.
Fair. Max, proud member of the 59%. What is Max talking about? Thank you, by the way, Max. He's talking about the 59% who watch our videos, who is subscribed to the channel, not the illegal 41%. Get subscribed, be part of 59%. Let's grow that 59%. We want you guys to subscribe. It just helps our algorithm if you can like the video as well. Because I think people enjoy what we do. I hope. Let me scroll back up with it. Kevin Zefi, wink, wink. Dave, where did you play back in the day? Well, Kevin, back in the day, defense. I could play anywhere. I was in a decent side, actually. That won the league, won the 5-side league. I didn't play in it. They did win the league, though. I moved to England.
5-side league.
Rolling Stone. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. No, Rolling Stone. Come on, we don't want you to go. I don't want you to go anyway. Ryan Kelly, can't wait for Keller to leave Liverpool for regular first team football. I think Newcastle will be a great fit with him. I know Connor mentioned Chelsea, but that's a shit show of a club. Can't see it. And he continues. I would like to see Kelleher, O'Brien. Sorry, here's his starting 11. First of all, we agree in that one, Connor, don't we?
Go to Chelsea.
Or Man United.
I'll stop with you. Just give it up, man.
What are your thoughts out there, Roar Faithful? Do you think Kelleher will go to Man United? Even if you don't think so, just wind up Connor, because he's easier to wind up than a fucking wind up watch. And I enjoy it every week. Hi Connor. Ryan Kelly, I would like to see Kelleher. This is Ryan Kelly's starting 11. It's not obvious starting 11, by the way. We've given ours. O'Brien right back, Abankwah, Collins centre back, Brady centre back, and left back. Collins, so it's 5 at the back. Okay. Taylor.
No,
Taylor.
no. He doesn't want Cullen playing left back. He wants Cullen playing.
Oh, sorry, I
CDM.
misread it. Sorry. Okay, I misread it. My goggles.
Yeah, I don't think he wants Josh Cullen playing left back, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm just reading out. All right. Okay. So Brady left back. Sorry, Cullen as a centre midfielder with Taylor in beside him. Am I reading that? So Cullen as a central midfielder. Is that centre
He
mid?
wants his as he says centre forward, so he means in behind Troy Powart with Mata on the right, Johnson on the left.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Sorry, Ryan. It's been a long day. Daniel, how many players can we call up? Because I've seen England called up 26, but we called 23. Has that got something to do with different competitions? Because that's a World Cup qualifier England are in, isn't it?
No, I thought theirs was in June. Is the qualifiers already for them? Or maybe I think it is in the end of June off, do they? Are they in the bigger group of 6? Because they're not in Nations League, but no, but I do think even though they've called up 26, they can only name 23 in a match day squad. Maybe for friendlies it's more, but I know for Nations
World Cup qualifier.
Is it all? For Nations League, you can call. I'd imagine World Cup's the same. Imagine it's a 23 match day squad. So I'd imagine that if we say we could have called up 26 for this camp if we wanted to, but only 23 can be named on a match day squad.
But that's a FIFA tournament. We're in the UEFA tournament, and they have different rules for all throughout.
No, but in terms of that, England call up 26. We could call up 20. I think it's the same for players allowed to be called up. Like I don't think there's a max like that. I think it's just we are only calling up 23 probably for financial reasons. Because we used to have 5, 26, and remember you used to have you'd get a thing on match day, blah 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 has been left out of the match day squad. So I'm guessing just in terms of saving money, probably saves them a couple of grand here and there.
Wow, I'm not making those aspersions. Yillian, how you doing, Yillian? Or Yillian, sorry. Damien Duff says interested in the national team has tanked recently, and I have to agree. Yeah, I agree too. Unfortunately, there's very little to get excited about in that latest squad. Should have brought more young players. Listen, and we went through it in greater detail earlier on. Yillian, I understand that. I do agree. I think what Duff said about the national team, it has tanked big time. You know, you go to Dublin. I can remember, Connor. Sure, those of you remember when Ireland were playing, it was an event. Now, we were one of the best teams in the world at the time, and it was an event. The streets just emptied, and you were watching it down the pub, in the school. You were watching it, or your sitting room, or your bedroom, whatever. And now you wouldn't even know it's on. It's really, really bad. It'll take time. I think we'll get back up there, but it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Takes qualifying for a tournament, doesn't it?
Yeah. Christ, I just remember those early 90s. Like, it was just mad. Honest to God, it was just an event. Because we never lost. Like, it was very rare when we'd lose a match. It's really strange to tell people like yourself, Connor, when Ireland conceded a goal, it was weird. You're sitting there going, what? And then when we lost, it was even weirder. We always drew or won. It's really bizarre. But anyway, Duff's comments were very strange as well. They were a bit spiky. He said, I'm not going to give you a headline, and then gives him a headline. And then says, Halverson would like to go for a pint with him and Steve Bradley. And he goes, that would be a miserable night. Now, I don't know if he meant that against... He meant that his company would be miserable. Duff's company would be miserable. I mean, Halgerson's company would be miserable, or he doesn't want to sit down with Stephen Bradley. I don't know. What did you make of
I
that?
know, he's just being a bit weird by doing that. Like, just stop being so fucking odd, like, with that shit. Like,
yeah,
he's just being odd. Like, just stop being odd like that. I know everyone likes Dub, and he's doing great things for Irish football, but like, why do you have to try and create more divide by saying these sort of things? Like,
yeah, I mean, stick to what you're good at, and that was being one of the top 10 players between 2010 and 2020.
oh, stop it.
Ryan Kelly hearing lots about Rory Finnegan. Hopefully the next breakout midfielder for Ireland. He's young and he will be a while before he makes that leap. Still want to watch. I think Connor will agree. Do you agree, Connor?
Yeah, I totally agree. He's in under 17s for the qualifiers next week.
Right. Will his ass get a prem move? Asks Roland Kilgallen.
Yeah, he will, but I don't know where. Hopefully, not to a team like what Smolix has done in the summer relegation, that you're just go straight up, go backside, and then Azaz needs to be in a team that actually has the ball, not a team that's he's in a team that doesn't dominate possession. He struggles to get involved because of the lack of his pace. But hopefully he gets a right move, not just a prem move. Has to be the right one. Like,
Young asks, Ireland tried to play in a pragmatic, hard to beat style against England, and we're blowing out their arses of time. It's possible to try to be hard to beat and still get destroyed. That is true. I don't know. I thought we were comfortable. I don't know if we're blowing out of our arses.
Maybe Festy was because he was running around like a madman doing everything. But
yeah,
I don't think we were. I think it was just maybe just
tired. Comfortable.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
And then of course, look, that's a top team. We gave away the penalty. Probably still would have lost it 1-2-0, which isn't the worst thing in the world against.
And we should have got a penalty.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Oh God, yeah. Ferguson taken down, which wasn't even in the ITV highlights package on YouTube. It was like, you dirty bastards. Anyway, Dean Flood, it's a waffle emoji. Yeah, thank you, Dean. We established that. Celtic Symphony, hello, my first time doing this. Welcome, Celtic Symphony. You're most welcome.
I think it's. I think he calls himself Celtic Symphony, to be honest, not Celtic.
Sorry, Celtic Symphony. It's my first time doing this, and because of that, Dave, my last time doing it. No, just joking. Sorry, Celtic Symphony, of course it is. Wondering your thoughts on Adam Ida. Seems hot and cold to me, but seems to be to get a break from the Ireland supporters. Thanks. I think Celtic Symphony is correct, actually. He's scored a few important goals for Celtic, but he doesn't do it consistently.
He can't start up front over like a number 10. That's all I have to say on him. I think my Irish fans are massively overrating his form. I see people saying, "Oh, are you going to? We can't start Ferguson up front with the form power on Ida's," and it's like, where the fuck is Ida coming into this conversation? See, hasn't been good since that. He was brilliant against Aston Villa in the Champions League. What was that?
Yeah,
probably almost 2 months ago, and done nothing since. He scores a goal off the bench for Celtic. Can't start up front. I think he should be fourth choice for Ireland up front at the moment. Fair. Good footballer, very talented, but he doesn't play to his strengths, in my opinion, which are running the channel and his hold-up play. And there's games he refuses to run. England at home, that game, Jesus Christ, he was embarrassing that day.
Kevin Zefi, no waffler. I'm only joking. I'm good. Dean Flood says, yes, David, sarcasm. Can the glasses not help you see that? Jesus, mean.
Wow.
You are mean, Dean. Mean Dean Flood.
Davy goggles.
Davy goggles. Fuck off of that. When I was a kid, I was fat, had red hair and glasses. And braces. So I heard it all. It doesn't bother me. Clearly not, Dean. And also, by the way, Connor didn't fucking see it either, did he? You didn't know
See
it was
what?
a waffle. And you're young, Connor. You should know these emojis.
No, but these, I'm not like you with an Android or one of them things. I'm used to iPhone emojis, so that's all I
Are they
say.
different? I don't know.
Yeah, they are different, yeah.
I've never been an Apple wanker. I've never had one of these. Number 7 on Twitter. Where will his ass be next season? Up Connor's arse. No, where will he be next
Jesus
season?
Christ. At a higher level. Probably the Prem, like.
Celtic Symphony. Is this live or pre-recorded? Thanks. Ryan Kelly answers. It's live. It is live, Celtic. So thank you again. And please, by the way, feel free to comment. We want all your comments. I mean, we put up a Rolling Stone. Now, I'm just joking, Rolling, if you're watching. I think he's gone off. I think he's sulking a little bit. He's taking pelters again today, Rolling Stone, wasn't he? Fucking hell. Yes, it's live. We will have pre-recorded episodes, but every Sunday or Monday we tend to be live, and we try to have a bit of fun, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. And this is a podcast for adults, but we have to get special permission to have Connor on because it's way past his bedtime because he's 12. But still, adults minus Connor. And yeah, you can say pretty much what you want on here, and we don't care as long as not racist or homophobic or anything like that. Keep it tasty. Adam Curtis, Celtic Symphony. I feel Ida is third choice striker.
Ida. You really need to get. You're turning to Ronnie Wheel and calling him Ida.
Wow. I'll tell you what, that's the nicest thing you said to me.
Not in his commentary skills, not his footballing skills.
But I feel Ida is third choice striker coming into this camp. But with the introduction of Sinclair Armstrong, I feel Ida is just going to fall further down the pecking order. What's the Ida of that?
Inshallah to that. Please God. Sinclair Ida's a better finisher, but Sinclair is better at every other thing to his game. So maybe we could play him left wing. He's an option to play left wing even against the likes of Bulgaria, or even with a front two. Play him up front with Mr. Parrott. Him, the big target man, or balls in behind to lay it off to Troy Parrott. But no, I much rather Sinclair to Parrott, not to Parrott, sorry, to Ida.
Who do you think Evan will end up with next year? I reckon he'll go on loan again.
Maybe Leverkusen. Maybe the Leverkusen dream might happen in the summer.
Love him to go over and just smashing it in Bundesliga. Celtic Symphony. I don't know how to reply to a chat, but Armstrong is not better than Ida, at least not now. Thanks. Thank you, Celtic. He's very polite, Celtic Symphony. Thank you for, it's your first time. You getting the gist of it. And I mean that purely. Brilliant. Roland Kilgannon would agree there, Celtic. And of course, Armstrong has a higher ceiling than Ida. And I do feel he has the same attributes as Ida. You happy now, Connor? You have me saying Ida.
Yeah.
But
no, it's Ida, not Ida.
Well, it is in London. Yeah. Mark Curran, easier to wind up than a wind up watch isn't the most creative thing I've heard, I must say. I know, Mark, but it is live, that's what we do. I'm trying to do this. I've got the camera, I've got the comments. So I'll do better next week. What's coming there? Kevin, I remember the games in Lansdowne Road at 3 p.m. on weekdays as there was no floodlights at the time. Glory days. We never lost it. We never lost it right. No, we didn't. I remember the game against Spain, and we were 3-0 down in 20 minutes. It was mad. I remember just being in shock because I thought we were going to beat Spain and qualify for the World Cup like we did in '89. But there you go. Rolling Stone back in the 90s. Good man, Rolling Stone. He's back. It was usually a case of you'll never beat the Irish, but we are unlikely to beat you either. Yeah, we did get a lot of draws, to be fair. Ilan, I did notice Ida was bad against England, but then I watched most of that second half. My head in my hands. Fair. Is there any talk of doing a red card to Israel at the match in Aviva?
Haven't heard of it.
No.
We're not bows. Nah, I just don't think it. I don't think it happened. Like I think we're all on the same page with most of that stuff. But
we're gonna get pelted from that.
Some bows.
I'm gonna get a text from somebody. He was giving me pelters about Liverpool actually.
No. I don't think it would happen at the Viva, to be honest.
No. And Celtic Symphony, I always thought it was pronounced idea. That clears it up. Thanks. Well, thank you, Celtic Symphony. And thank you guys for watching. We've gone just under 2 hours. Not quite an episode of Dr. Zhivago, as someone said to me last week about our excellent episode, but we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. This has been our window preview. Do you like that kind of preview? It's a bit sexier, yeah, a bit raunchier, a bit,
It's like you said, Neil Farouja.
Farouja. Yeah. Gotta miss him now, actually. Where is he now? Is he still he's not oh, Christ, you see a name like that, it needs to be
that's what I said. That's what remember I was saying about the Heimer thing, about players going abroad, not the fucking Barnsley to get in the Ireland team.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to read this one out, Mr. Irish Football Blog, Bill. That's a bit. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, we are still on. We're just about to wrap up. You coming on here to see
what do you want, Bill? Go on, express yourself to us.
He's taking notes. He wants to see what a decent podcast looks like.
Oh, he won't take that.
He won't. Got to get a text message now in a second from him as well. I'm going to be getting pelters, as I have been through the whole episode. But anyway, listen, thank you so much to the Roar faithful. You guys are absolutely amazing there. One more, I'll tell you what, you got one more comment. Daniel Brown. It's all these different managers. It's definitely not Evan. Maybe, just maybe, not being good enough. It's not really all these different managers, is it? It's 3 managers.
And one of the managers was the one that brought him through.
Yeah, that's true. For Irish Football Blog, I'll listen back. Don't worry. At least someone here likes to help out others. I do. I shared your article on the Facebook page. It's the most coverage you're ever going to get, son. Anyway, right, we are going to leave it there. So we're going to cut off the comments. Listen, thank you so much, and even you, Bill, and you, Rolling Stone, and of course Celtic Symphony. Well done, and you're very welcome. And hopefully we'll get you on the next episode.
Make sure you subscribe, Celtic.
You better be subscribing, Celtic, and you, Bill, as well, and you, Rolling Stone. Become part of 59%. That does actually subscribe to the page. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the window ends. Yeah, obviously. Tuesday, we're going to have a preview of the game in Plovdiv. We're actually in a studio. We've rented out a studio, myself, Connor, and Martin. If Martin is obviously home in one piece on Paddy's Day. Also, we have a fan team which is going to be released at some point tomorrow, putting the finishing touches on that. That will have any useful information, of course, over in Bulgaria in how to get from Sofia to Plovdiv, etc. Of course, we will be live from the ground, hopefully. Wi-Fi depending, guys. Wi-Fi depending, because you just don't know on these away matches. But Connor and I will be there. And of course, we will be live from Dublin as well in Lansdowne Road. And we'll have a window review once we get back off the plane. Well, I get back off the plane from Dublin. I'll be straight home. And we'll be live for a window review as well. So join us here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course on the YouTube channel. Head over to lansdowneroar.ie as well. There's going to be loads of articles, even hopefully from young Bill, if he's not if he's still talking to me. Anyway, we're going to leave it here. Connor, thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching. You are wonderful. I'm David Dunn. He is Connor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne ROAR, our window preview. We're out of here. Good night. And God bless.